Eric, Democratic Party candidate Lee Jae-myung has won the presidency. What's the initial reaction coming out of South Korea?
To an extent, there was little surprise here. It was anticipated that Lee Jae-myung of the Democratic Party would win this election rather comfortably, and sure enough, he did. So, in terms of having a winner of the election and a new administration, things went relatively as anticipated. I think that is the top line here. I think there is a bigger story about the historic place of this election coming 6 months after the illegal attempt to impose martial law. We can read this election as drawing a line under that episode.
What pledges did Lee make during the campaign, and is he likely to deliver on them?
I think a lot of the signaling in this election and many elections in South Korea has less to do with specific policy promises and more to do with the general positioning that a candidate promises to bring. And the kind of promise that Lee and the Democratic Party had was that we will help to keep Korean government functioning. This was not a radical program. If one looks at the kinds of things that Lee not only has promised in the past few weeks of the campaign, but in the record of his career in politics and administration, he's not somebody who undertakes uh, wildly radical policies. Many of his policies are in fact quite friendly to business and the private sector and the functioning of the market.
So there's been a turnover in power after former President Yoon Suk Yeol's martial law declaration. Is his party, the People Power Party, in trouble?
We've had basically two major groupings of politicians, two major political parties for decades. 9 years ago, we had an episode where another former president had committed wrongdoing from the same party side as Yoon. That episode really smashed the predecessor to the People's Power Party. Yoon helped to resuscitate their fortunes and give them a bit of a lifeline and governing control, at least through the executive. And then he imploded. And the question is, what happens next? Now, one trend here is that the party did not really separate itself as much from Yoon's attempt at declaring martial law as one might have anticipated.